Welcome back to another episode of TVGP's Game Club. This month we are playing through A Short Hike. Well, this past month we played through A Short Hike. I'm your host, Boston, playing this on the PlayStation 5. I'm joined, as always, by Moonpier.
Howdy, I bleed green, Xbox Series X.
And Musum.
PlayStation 5.
Let's get a little bit about this game done out of the way. This was released on July 30th, 2019 on PC, Linux, and OS X. August 18th, 2020 on Switch. November 16th, 2021 on Xbox One and PS4. Published by Whippoorwill. Developed by Adam Robinson Yu. Really the only other person that worked on the game, it seemed like, is the composer Mark Sparling, who worked on Shantae and the Seven Sirens and Cursed to Golf. This game itself, developer describes it as a little exploration game about hiking up a mountain, which is pretty accurate. It's
a short description for a short hike. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's an isometric game where you're playing as Claire, a bird with a scarf, and you're hiking up a mountain.
Thank you.
Penguins, birds are birds.
I know. Be specific. There are lots of birds in this game.
That's true. I didn't know that Claire was a penguin. I thought she was a crow. But good.
She
Good to know. Good to know.
She might be a crow. All I know is she looks like a penguin.
Yeah.
She doesn't look anything pretty.
That's right. She didn't explode once. Time travel. Time travel. Metacritic 88. OpenCritic 87. Peers for the release date of July 30th, 2019. I got a lot of them. 2019 was stacked. So Sea of Solitude. That was that indie game where that dark monster was chasing that lady underwater the whole time. Tiny Metal Full Metal Rumble. This is the sequel to the first game that we played way back when on Game Club. Dragon Quest Builders 2. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order. Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is probably one of the biggest games that year. Wolfenstein Cyber Pilot, that was the VR one. Wolfenstein Youngblood, that was the other one. Remnant from the Ashes, which is an incredible game that everybody should go play. Control. Control came out in 2019, right alongside this guy.
I find it funny that we're having a renaissance of 2019 games, like as a group ourselves. So that's good to know that my backlog is exactly 5 years long. That's good good to know.
World of Warcraft Classic, that first came out on in 2019. Astral Chain, Gears 5. And Untitled Goose Game.
So, I thought you were done when you said Control, by the way.
Yeah.
No, that was only, by the way, that was only like 2 months of that year, and that's just the highest of the highs.
You sure you didn't forget a Halo or something in there?
Yeah, I'm sure there was Halo coming out, something. Gosh. We'll ask them
Halo
a question.
or Final Fantasy.
That's which Final Fantasy came out that year? We'll ask the question we ask every month. Was this game top of the pile, middle of the pack, or overlooked?
For me, it felt overlooked because I didn't start hearing about it until a few years later. And that's mostly because I'm years behind on podcasts.
I heard about it last month, so overlooked.
Okay. I'm actually going with top of the pile because this was fairly high in a lot of people's top 10 lists that I read that year.
Yeah.
Because it was one of those things where it kind of came out of nowhere, and it was not like an indie darling, but one of those things of like, here's like a 2-hour game you can just sit and play in one sitting, and it's good. It's like, okay, yeah, that's that gets some credit here. Before we get into how we feel about the game itself, because we might spoil something, I'm not really sure. Next game we're going to be playing is Superliminal. And the platforms that came out on was everything. So if you own something, probably came out on there. You might already own it. It seems like it has been on Game Pass and PS Plus and all that stuff. You probably got it from an Amazon Prime drop or something. So go check your respective platforms, see if you already own that. Real quick, spoiler warning here. We're going to be talking about the ending of this game as it is. So, you know, if you want to go into this blind, just pause this for like 2 hours and then come back and listen to it. And we'll be here. Don't worry. We're not going anywhere. All right. Who wants to, you know, Musum, I feel like I'd never start with you on these things. How about we start with, how did you feel about A Short Hike?
Well, you know what? I started it and finished it today.
There you go.
That 2 hour comment you said is very accurate. I honestly, I really like the game. It's kind of what it advertises. Like, there's very little, if any, stress in the game, and it is incredibly charming. Like,
yeah,
just every character you talk to, like the writing is really like it just has like the right brand of humor. Oh, thank you for bringing me this shell necklace. Right. Here's a gold feather. Oh, that's weird timing. Did you just now think to give me this feather, or is this a reward? No, it's not a reward. What are you talking about?
Right. How dare you? It's not a reward. That kid was great.
Yeah. They have that bit on the. I always forget where we start on these things. Like they have the bit with the beach stickball, whatever it was called. Which, admittingly, when that happened, I did not realize the circle button on the PlayStation controller would operate the stick, and that took longer than I would care to admit to figure out.
Right. Yep.
I didn't do everything in this game. I kind of wish
I didn't either.
I did a little bit more, but
I did everything I could do, mostly. I have to know. Did either of you do the boat?
No, I went in that area and saw it. So I was thinking about doing everything in this game and getting the platinum, and then I was looking at the trophies, and I could feel in my bones that there's going to be one or two of those cozy game trophies that makes me hate this game. And I was like, you know what?
It's the stickball one.
Yeah, I'm going to poke around the island a little bit. I'm going to do what I want to do, and then I'm going to be out. And I'm not going to torture myself with this cozy game.
Yeah, 100% that achievement was the stickball achievement. You're going to get like a combo of like 50 or something like that, which is just insane.
Oh, wow. I thought I was doing good at 32. I'm like, yeah.
I thought I did well at 10. I did 10, yeah.
Well, especially because you can make it make it so that the save counts, which is just a nice little note of, the save counts every time. The save 100% counts. Go away. Of course it does. So the reason I bring up the boat thing is because you got to pay a bunch of money to rent the boat. But then once you rent the boat, you have the boat. You can go and access it whenever you want. You don't need to pay for it more than once. You basically have it for the quote-unquote day. When you do so, the person who's renting the boat, who knows you, as a kid who's just hanging around by the rental station for the boat. And when you rent the boat, the kid's like, can I go on the boat, please? Because I am bored out of my brains right now. So I really need something to do. So can I please go on the boat with you? You're like, yeah, cool. So you do a little bit of driving around. And then the kid's like, hey. I got a really, really dumb idea. How about I make an obstacle course?
Oh, no.
And we try and race the boat around the obstacle course as quickly as we can.
Oh, no.
So you start doing the obstacle course, and then right near the end of it, there's a sick boat jump. I was so annoyed with myself that I didn't get it captured, because you hit the jump, and as you hit the jump, the boat comes up towards the camera because it's hit the jump. And Claire and this little kid have just got the biggest wide eyes that you could possibly have, and they're staring directly at the camera. And it's just like this hilarious moment because you land and the boat breaks. It completely stops working. And the kid's like, maybe the jump was a bad idea. And then you have to go and get the boat fixed by someone who knows boats without telling the parent of the kid who owns the boat place. It is like the dumbest, most charming sequence I have ran across in a long time. You should totally check out just like a highlights clip of like someone going for the achievements, because the boat race is one of the achievements, just so you can see the slow down freeze frame, because it's like an action movie as the boat hits the ramp and goes towards the camera. It's just like, it's just delivered to excellence. And then when the person who fixes the boat is also the fishing person, funnily enough. So it leads you to somebody else who lets you explore more of the world, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I that's part of one of the reasons I like this game so much is it's full of moments like that. Like, even if you don't need something from a character, each one of them has a little bit of their own personality, and they're all kind of a little fun. Like the teenage kid who's fleecing you for gold at like 100 coins a piece. When you ask him what his deal is, he's trying to save up money to go back to college, so he only needs like $400 more. And I was like, I wanted to hate you, you jerk. Now I kind of feel badly for you.
I went back and gave him $400.
Yeah, I did too.
I think I gave him 300, but
I'm trying to help the youth of tomorrow, the small birds of tomorrow.
So I never found the sneakers. Do you guys, or the running shoes, whatever they were? For that race?
I did somewhere. I don't remember where.
Okay. You get it from somebody who is, I think it's the rabbit, who lost their red headband in the forest.
Yes, that's because.
And then you try and find the red headband, and I literally spent like 45 minutes trying to find this red headband. There was a turtle running around who had a red headband on, and I was like, "Yo, where'd you get that headband?" And
Give me that
like,
thing.
I brought it from home. He's like, "Do you want it? Here you go. I got like 1 million of them." Yeah. And then you take it back to the rabbit, and the rabbit's like, "Yeah, that's not my sweat. That's not my lucky headband. Like, why?" And then gives you the sneakers anyway.
Yeah, because she finds out. You explain to her that you got it from that.
The headband was from like an idol of hers, I think.
Yeah, he's like a famous runner or something, and she's like, now it's like quadruple lucky. Yeah, that was pretty good. But you don't. It's funny because it almost doesn't matter, because you run a little bit faster, but it drains your golden feathers incredibly quickly. So
it's useful for the parkour challenges.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I don't think I successfully completed any of those.
I didn't do any of them. Like, the guy's like, "You really need running shoes to do them." I'm like, well, okay, maybe I'll come back later. And then by the time I was like nearly all the way up the mountain, I was like, well, I guess I'm not gonna do those parkour challenges.
Right.
So I did the first two without them, because, spoiler alert, you can just jump and glide your way across the parkour challenges.
There you
so
go.
instead of running through the forest, you just fly over it.
I really love the two climbing wall guys. The guy that's trying to be cool about climbing, the other one that's being a loud, yelly gatekeeper. Those are two of my favorite people in this game.
With over 3 members.
It's so good. Oh. And then them talking at the end of the game to the polar bear that you make a bad bear joke to, and the polar bear does not enjoy at all. That's real great. I was surprised at how emotional I got at the ending of this game.
So yeah, did you guys interact with the painting kid at all? Like, did you get to the point where the painting kid is on top of the mountain?
I didn't. I talked to them 2 or 3 times, but they weren't at the top of the mountain, no.
Yeah, if you keep finding them before you go up there, they're right there at the top. Doing a painting up there. The reason why I so quickly jumped in there, sorry, Boston, is
no, you're fine.
I have to know about the music. I have to know if that track in particular hit you guys the same way it hit me.
I mean, the whole soundtrack is actually really incredible. I shouldn't say actually. That's dismissive. The soundtrack is incredible. It is. I wish there were more tracks, because I really like this composer's soundtrack. But yeah, the last couple of tracks as you're getting up the mountain are all exceptionally good. Like once you hit the snowy area where your feathers start freezing, that stuff all the way up and then all the way back down the mountain, that stuff is, all those tracks are really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed all the music. I should remember it. I played it this afternoon and this morning. I don't specifically remember the ending track.
Yeah. It was kind of...
The one in particular I'm referencing is called Snow, Lots of Snow.
Mm-hmm.
You'll recognize it the second you hear it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was surprised at the way the story sort of unfolded, because how the game was painting Claire at the beginning of the game is, oh, you're here on this mountain and there's no cell reception and you're just the most bored. So if you want to get some service, get to the top of the mountain and you can do whatever you need to do. But then, sort of as you prepare to do that, you find out that Claire is waiting for a phone call because of something. She's waiting for it, and when you get to the top of the mountain, you find that her mom went through surgery, and you're just trying to hear if she came out of surgery okay. And that small piece of writing, and then the music that played as you were sort of free gliding back down the mountain, the combination of those two is just... something about it was just full 10 out of 10.
It was a punch right in the feels for me. Like 100%. It
was really good. And I really respect a piece of work, especially a game that can do so much with so little writing. Because there really isn't a lot of writing in this game, but all of it, like we said, is really good. It's very clever. It's very well written. It's very... I like a lot of indie games that use like the shaky fonts for when people are like scared or intense or angry or something. It does some of that really well.
I do that too.
That's I'm using my shaky font right now. But like it, especially at the end when you get to the top of the mountain and the combination of making it there after getting as many gold feathers as you got to get up there, getting that accomplishment, and then sort of having that moment of getting the full story from Claire and kind of getting that closure and that release, I think was really unexpected in a good way and really, really great.
So that moment for me, I had forgotten that about all of the cell phone storyline, and she gets up there and it's like, oh, finally cell phone reception. I'm like, oh, right. That's funny that they continued taking that. And then they dished it out. I'm like, oh, man, that's a really, really good piece of writing. And then you got to fly down. And then my other favorite part of the game was going back to your, I don't remember who it was, an aunt or something like
your
that.
Aunt, yeah.
And just telling her all the stuff you did that day. Yep. And that made me wish I did more of the side activities just because of the ridiculous short descriptions Claire gives.
Yeah, she like rapid fire gives a bunch of descriptions. And one thing I really like about this game is actually when you go back to the house next to your aunt and you go to rest for the rest of the day, as soon as you select yes, it just says the end on the screen. Like there's no like build up to it. It's just like, that's the end. That was your day. Good job. I was like, you know what? Great. I like that this game. I think part of what I really enjoyed about it is it didn't overstay its welcome. Like I felt like it was exactly as long as it should be and kind of as long as I wanted it to be, because I didn't get all the fish. I didn't get all the gold feathers. I didn't do all of the everything. I didn't find all the hidden treasures from the treasure maps. But I kind of felt satisfied by the end of it, because I was like, you know what? Yeah, I had fun. I had a good time. I'm kind of done. I'm ready to finish this day, and for the game just to be like, yep, the end. I liked that. I liked that quite a bit.
You know, it's a good game, and I like the non-stress part of it, like the blue sky phrase that you guys like to use kind of came to my head. I would play more games with this kind of concept of just let's go to a vacation location and have a couple hours of non-stress, explore a pretty environment, you know.
Yep.
And it doesn't have to be high graphics like as this one shows. You just need a cool art style, you know.
Yep. Yeah, it's nice to see a game that is low stakes, kind of there's no failure state. I could imagine this being good for kids too, because there isn't any failure state, and there's nothing to say like, whoa there, buddy, you can't get to the western side of the island without X, Y, and Z. It's like, no, man, whatever. Go crazy.
The length as well. Like, it like, I would happily pay $20 for 4 or 5 of these games than $70, $80 for a 700,000-hour game that's going to suck the soul out of me.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. Either of you guys have anything to sort of wrap up a short hike with? The bummer of it is there's not a ton to talk about on this one. It's really good, and you should go play it. But it's also short, which is a bonus.
I will say, like, you know, if you listen to Pup, you know I grade things occasionally in open worlds by the distance to stuff. Like, how does that feel? And I think this game has like the perfect distance to stuff. Like, you walk somewhere, you see a glint somewhere, and you're like, oh, I wonder how I can get there. And you kind of figure it out. And sometimes there's no figuring out. Sometimes it's just, I'm going to walk up this path. I have no idea where I'm at now, but there are signs with labeled trails. And I think they do a really good job dispersing content through this without overloading you.
Yeah, agreed.
It's just a great game. It was like $8. Like, this was fantastic. I could see myself buying it on another platform and playing it again, you know, next year or something.
Yeah. Moon, any final thoughts here for a short hike? I think you're muted.
Yes, I was. Thank you. I really genuinely enjoyed it. And I think, like we said earlier, the thing hit me so hard right at the end. We're like, oh, it was a fun little romp around the island, and you know, I had fun meeting all the strange animals with their strange habits and whatever else the case may be. I ended up with I think 15 golden feathers before I even attempted the climb. It was like, you need at least 7. I was like, cool, I'm just gonna run around and mess with people for a while.
Yeah.
Like the frog who's building the sandcastles. We didn't even talk about him. Like, he's so hilariously funny how now he's the mayor and everything else. He gets outvoted for the mayor of his sandcastle town.
It's very good.
Like,
man,
that type of stuff is the golden little moments where it's just like, okay,
I built this town.
Like, stuff like that is just so good. And then when I finally hit the top and I called out that particular track in the main show and our main show in TVGP for a reason, is because that moment, it was just like, oh great, now I'm gonna cry. Thanks.
With the northern lights coming out and like the game's palette changes, like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah. It's y'all should give it a shot.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have too much else to add. You should go play this game. And I completed it in one sitting and was super happy about it. So I wholly recommend it. Reminder that our next game is going to be Superliminal. I'm going to play that for this next month. And we hope you'll join us in playing that. And we hope we'll see you all next month. Bye.
Bye.